Hi everyone, welcome to After Class with Ballet for All,
a podcast by two passionate adult ballerinas about all things adult ballet related.
and some random thoughts in between.
We're so glad you're here.
So grab your water bottle
Or a cup of coffee.
and join us for a quick chat after class. Hello.
Good to see you.
So we have Stacy again with us today, which is amazing. Not just one, but 2, 3, and 4 episodes now, Stacy.
Thank you so much for having me. As always, I love spending time with my Ballet for All family and tuning in here from the Big Apple.
It's lovely to have you. How is everything going with your training and the steps and all that?
It's going great. All of the faculty are very supportive, and I've seen myself make a lot of progress with just really now being able to dive more into enjoying the choreography. I'm remembering choreography more. I'm taking a wide variety of classes, going really, really well.
That's so amazing. So this episode, we still going to answer a few questions from the social media regarding the ballet intensives. One of the questions was, what should I pack for the intensive? Hannah and Stacy, how did you pack? What were your essentials for your intensives?
So I would say check your dress code. Very important. Find out what's required and stick to that pretty much. Black leotards are always safe. And I do recommend trying out a lot of different styles before you go, so you're in the most comfortable attire that you can be. Most comfortable tight. So you really want to, generally speaking, traditional ballet attire is best. Some require black leotards, pink tights, pink shoes, and a skirt is optional. If I'm doing a 5-day intensive, I'll probably pack 8 leotards. And then I probably pack maybe the same amount of tights, probably. So I just know that I have enough to, if I had to, want to change it in a given day. I don't like that leotard. I want to change it. Always have a spare. We're women, always have a spare set in your bag of everything. I'm military too, so spare of everything. Yeah, I would definitely say one set of everything for each day. Think about what you're going to wear for your performance as well, so that you can set that aside and not wear it, during the week. And then you want to have whatever warm-ups you like to wear. If you leg warmers, if you wear pants or shorts to warm up, whatever. We all have something different that we use. And then certainly I would say a ballet appropriate shirt or sweater. In case the air conditioning is on. It's recommended that you wear something fitted. So I always recommend either a fitted long sleeve t-shirt of some kind, like a yoga t-shirt that's long sleeve in case the air comes on, or a fitted ballet sweater of some kind that's either a wrap or a pullover that you can wear that would still allow the placement to be seen, but you won't freeze.
Yeah, I think what you said about checking the dress code is really good, because that honestly didn't even occur to me, because at the intensive I've been to, there is no dress code. But I know for some, you need to find that out. And I think definitely, like you mentioned, making sure that you're bringing comfortable leotards. Like, I would not recommend buying a new leotard that you've never actually danced in and then wearing it for the first time at an intensive, just because you don't really know if it's going to be like pinching in a weird spot or riding up or different things. So I think picking clothing items that are comfortable, whether it has to be a certain color like black or whether you can wear whatever you want, definitely prioritizing comfort, because as we talked about in the last episode, you will be dancing for a longer stretch of time than you're probably used to. So bringing things that'll keep you comfortable and also keep you warm. Like, I know the intensive I went to, there was lunch breaks and a few minutes between classes. And so one of the things that I always have brought, that I'm always glad that I do, is warm up booties, just to keep your feet warm in between things, because you don't want your feet to get cold between finishing technique and going to point class. So it's nice to have those just for around the studio for keeping your feet warm in between things. And then obviously on the topic of footwear, making sure you're bringing your slippers. If you are going to be taking point classes, make sure, you're bringing your point shoes. I think, by the time you're going to an intensive, you'll probably know how quickly you break down your point shoes generally. But again, you're going to probably be doing more dancing than you might be normally doing. So I think even if, your point shoes tend to last you a few months normally, I would still say bring a backup pair, just because you might surprise yourself and kill your point shoes partway through the week. And it would be a bummer to not be able to take point class for the rest of the week because you didn't have backup. So I think bringing 2 pairs of point shoes, even if, it's unlikely you'll use both, is always a good plan.
Then I would say to that too, Hannah, make sure you have all of your point shoe pads. If you know what you use and you're comfortable with that, great. But if you're not, or you have any reservation, bring several pairs. And I can also attest to wearing a leotard that you've never worn before. And I was like, this is going to be my favorite leotard. And I'm putting it on and the zipper break. Okay. So that was like the bad news, but that's a very good testament to, what you point out, because you have things and, you say, okay, it's going to be my favorite. And you go to put it on and, it's whatever, something happened. You definitely want to make sure you have things that you either worn or a style that is good for you. And I would say have a few pairs of ballet slippers too, if you do have a few, just because the flooring is different everywhere you go. But most of it's marley and it's pretty straightforward, but you never know. And so you definitely want to, sometimes they're more sticky than others. There's less friction. So a second pair of ballet slippers certainly doesn't hurt either.
And I think too, I know I'm the same in that I like to kind of overpack and bring, one leotard a day at least, and then a couple of backups. But I know sometimes for people that are traveling, if they have limited space in their suitcase, you can hand wash stuff in your hotel room. Like I know some people that came internationally did that. Like they didn't have room to bring 7 or 8 leotards and 7 or 8 pairs of tights. And so they brought 3 or 4 and they would just hand wash and hang them up to dry and then, rotate through. So that's kind of a hack if you're short on space.
I think something to prioritize above everything, it will be sleepers. If you have no space, remember, it's going to be a very exciting week. You're going to be moving from here to there, here to there. You never lose anything. That will be the week that you might lose one of your ballet shoes. It will happen. You're so excited. Everything is different. Everything is new. You're talking. You're changing from one class to the next one.
One of the things I realize at the intensives is because a lot of people are wearing the same brand as you and they kind of look the same. Like it doesn't hurt to write your initials in each of your shoes, because we would all be kind of sitting around with piles of our stuff. And it's like, I wear Sodanza shoes, but then there was like 10 other girls there that also wear Sodanza shoes. And so if all your stuff's kind of in a pile, you're like, wait, which pair is mine? So yeah, doing things like that where you're kind of marking your shoes can be a good tip. Also too, if you have other activities that you're going to be doing, like I know for the intensive I went to, there was an activity every night. And so making sure that you're packing clothes for that. If there's a formal dinner, if you're going to be doing something at the beach. And then also the one I went to had a photo shoot as part of the experience. And so you got to do a dance photo shoot either in studio or on the beach. And so making sure that you're obviously thinking ahead for your photo shoot outfit and what you want to wear for that, and making sure that you pack it is an important piece that you will want to have.
In a way, it's really intense. I mean, it's an intensive, right? So it's intense, but it's intense in a personal way, because I think when you go in with this mentality, you really want to show up dressing the part so that you perform the part. I always say that helps you, but we want the bun to be right. We want the clothes to be right. We want this to be right. That. So you get so stressed out getting yourself together to get where you're supposed to be that the likelihood of forgetting something is truly very high, actually.
There's just so many things to remember and I'm like, in normal life, I'm a very light packer. Like I was raised by a father who literally refuses to let us check bags when we go on vacations. We're not allowed on family trips. Like we can only take carry-ons. And so I'm a very light packer, but packing for intensives, I was like, what, all this crap? Like this is insane. Luckily, the ones I went to, I could drive, and our car was packed out. My husband was like, oh, dear God, because he came with me and just hung out in the hotel and did other things for the week. And he was just like, this feels excessive. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is. But I was so stressed out about not having something I needed. I scaled back the second year. That first year, I was like so nervous. I'm like, what if I need this? And he's like, then we go to the store. It's going to be fine.
It's a dancer thing. We want to be prepared. I will say though, one thing I was thinking of in thinking about this topic, if you are checking bags, make sure you take a pair of ballet shoes, your point shoes, a couple of leotards, a couple of pairs of tights in a carry-on, so that in the event something delays your luggage, you will have things to dance in and move about in. And I personally never check my shoes, my point shoes or my ballet shoes. I always put in a carry-on. So make sure you have a small packing detail of getting yourself through a couple of days if you had to.
If anyone wonders what are the odds that someone else had the same suitcase as you and you take someone else's suitcase home with you on your holidays, the chances are huge. I bought my suitcase in Australia, took it all the way to China, and flew then all the way to Vietnam. And a Vietnamese person returning from a holidays in China all the way to Vietnam in the same flight as me had exactly the same suitcase that I bought in Australia, not even in China. We got to Vietnam. My husband looked at the suitcase. It's my suitcase. And we didn't read the tag. We left for our holidays, and I spent 11 days with someone else's suitcase.
Oh, no.
I'm so glad that I had my climbing shoes and my climbing gear with me on my backpack, because we did say, if we lose the suitcases, the holidays is for climbing. We don't really need the clothes. Let's put the climbing shoes and the climbing gear in the backpack, not in the checked-in luggage. And I will say the odds are there, and they're huge. So take your ballet shoes with you, just in case it happens. Do you remember, Hannah? We were doing classes. It happened, and that woman, she was looking for me. I was looking for her, and my suitcase was just like, what she had was just like hiking shoes and hiking clothes. Her suitcase had like Gucci bags, and I was feeling so bad. I'm like, how do I return these? Like, she has good stuff, and I only had like hiking clothes.
You're like, this is not an even swap. This is not an even swap.
Not even.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, so the odds are big. There is very big chances that you might confuse your suitcase with someone else. So take your shoes with you.
That is a good point for air travel, is take the essentials on your person. Do not let them out of your sight.
Yeah, exactly. So something else now. So we talked about clothing and shoes. And what about hair? What are the essentials for you? Because most of us will be dancing at least with the ballet bun for sure.
So hair ties and that match your hair. Really try, if you can, if you have dark hair, to have dark hair ties, bobby pins and hairpins, and they are different. So make sure you have both. Hair nets as well. And then whatever styling products you use, gel, hairspray, things of that nature. I certainly recommend treating it as if it's a professional experience. And so doing your hair in a professional way.
Yeah, I agree with all that. And I think a bun is, even if you don't usually wear your hair in a bun, like I know some people, if they're going to a class, they might just wear a ponytail. But I think when you're doing a whole day of dancing, you're gonna want your hair back, especially for like turns and jumps, and it's just easier to have it back. It's easier for the teacher to really kind of be able to take in your alignment and all that if your hair is up. And I think teachers appreciate that, even if it's not part of a strict dress code. I totally agree with what you said, Stacey. I think treating it as a professional experience and having your hair pulled back in a bun of some type is a really good way to just keep it out of your face, and you're not really having to think about it. I always throw some extra pins in my dance bag too that I'm actually taking with me to the studio, just because sometimes during the day, again, it is a long day, so you might need to kind of reset your bun if things start falling out. So just like throwing in some extra hairpins into your bag, so if you need to fix it midway through the day, you can.
So what about the tools? Let's say that you have lots of space and lots of weight to bring over for your intensive. What would be essential tools that you will take with you?
I think one of the things that I found the first year of doing an intensive that was so helpful is I had read or seen a video or something where the person recommended bringing Ziploc baggies so that you could use the hotel ice machine to fill Ziplocs with ice so you can ice at night. And honestly, that was so helpful for me. So I think even if, you can only fit a couple in, obviously they're really small and don't take up a lot of space, to throw some Ziploc baggies in your luggage. So that way you can just make your way over the ice machine at night and scoop some in. If you can do the big ones that are like what are they, like a gallon, like the freezer bags, and you can really fill them up and you can use them to ice your back. Also Epsom salts for taking baths at night. Because, I mean, you are tired, like we talked about in the last episode. So if you're staying in a room that has a bathtub, it's really nice to be able to take a bath at night. But you can also go to the store, if you're somewhere where you can look up on Google Maps. And if you're low on space, obviously Ziplocs and Epsom salt are things that you could pick up at most drugstores. And so if you're low on space, just look and see what's around where you're going to be staying, because I think those two things are really helpful for recovery.
I agree with that, Hannah. And I think a heat source too, whether it be a heating pad or Thermacant's the brand, but there's lots of brands. But the peel it and then it heats as soon as it hits the air. I mean, or if you have a heating pad of some kind, that you can wrap that on anywhere, knees, back. I mean, if there's something that you require heat for, I would say one TheraBand that you can use to stretch your feet out so that even if you can't roll them, which you can get a tennis ball at a local store if you need to roll out. But if you've got nothing else, you can at least use a TheraBand, and that's very thin and light. You can use that for your feet to at least stretch them out. I would say probably a water bottle of some kind. The other thing I would say is ahead of time, look at your transportation, the timing it's going to take for you to get from one place to the next. So if you're Ubering, if you have to taxi, you want to download Curve. That if you're going somewhere where you can Uber or Lyft, you want to make sure you have all that set up before you go, so that you know where you're going, and then how you're going to get where you're going, and then also your food options that are around you. Do a little research on the area. Usually with your information after you register, you'll get an informational that says there's food here, there's a store here, there's this. But take a look, because usually you have a refrigerator in your room and you can buy a lot of things that you can stash. And so I always recommend a lunch bag of some kind.
Utilizing the mini fridge is such a great way to save money. I've done that too at the ones that I went to. Also, once I got to the city that it was in, going to the grocery store, getting, bananas, protein bars, some other things that I could put in the fridge. So that way you can, even if you can't get breakfast at the hotel, you can put together almost a little breakfast for yourself with like a banana, yogurt, whatever. And then, like you said, pack yourself a lunch, and you can save so much money by doing that, because eating out is really expensive, and usually just going to the intensive is expensive, and then transportation, food, and so that's a great way to save a little money.
And that's great. That's what kind of falls on the next category of talking about making sure that you get some snacks. Don't rely on, when I finish the ballet class, if I'm hungry, I would just go and grab a coffee and grab it. Make sure that you always have with you in your dancing bag some sort of snacks. Like, what would be your go-to snacks, Hannah and Stacy?
Yeah, I think what you said it's so true. A lot of times the breaks are quick in between, and I remember looking at the schedule and thinking, I might have time to like pop over across the street to the coffee shop and grab something. But then in reality, if class goes over a few minutes, or you need to use the restroom and there's a line, it's all these things. So like having food on you is so important, just to be able to munch on things between. And again, you're going to be dancing more than you're probably are used to, which means you might be hungrier. Like I remember feeling that way, Stacey. I don't know if you felt this way, like at the intensives. I was
definitely,
I am starved.
Yeah,
You're working out so hard that I felt like my appetite doubled.
Yeah,
in the week of intensive, because you're burning so many calories. So take whatever you think your normal appetite is and double
it.
and bring double the amount of protein bars, double the amount of, bananas, whatever. But going back to your question, Elena, of what I like to bring, I'm a huge banana person because I tend to get calf cramps. And I've noticed that eating bananas before class really help with my cramps because of the potassium in bananas. So if you're someone who's prone to cramping, get bananas. If you can't, if you're flying, obviously you might not be able to travel with them, but grab them at the store. So bananas are like a huge staple snack food for me. What about you, Stacey?
I'm a banana person too, so yay for the bananas. And if you add some peanut butter, you could add some protein to that too.
Yep.
I keep a jar of peanut butter, like if you can eat that. A lot of people can't because of allergies, but if you can, a jar of peanut butter goes a long way. If you just have that for like quick snack, spoons of peanut butter, and it helps you. But bananas, peanut butter, those are dry, right? So they don't have to be refrigerated. So you can keep those in your dance bag. I do protein bars as well. Always have a bar or a protein shake drink that's already pre-made, right? So already in the bottle. I don't have to make it, mix it, do anything, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. And I usually will always have peanut butter. And like I said, I'm a banana person. Apples are good because you also don't have to refrigerate those, really. You can just throw those in your bag. And again, put some peanut butter on it, and now you've had some more protein to it. Great snack. So those to me are you want things that you don't have to refrigerate. You want things that are going to give you a good amount of protein and some carbs because you do need them. And I will say this, I totally agree with Anna. Like, I thought this was when I was going to be like on the the quote unquote ballerina diet. Oh, I'm just like going to do my normal like intermittent fasting, which I usually do, right? You're up at 7 getting ready. Well, no, I'm just going to have my coffee and go, and I'll be good till lunch. Yeah, right. Like, I almost passed out the first day, literally, only because I didn't eat, right? That was so ridiculous for me to even think that that was possible given the work we were doing. And I will tell you, it is not the time to be saying, oh, yes, we want to eat healthy. This is not the time to say, oh, I'm going into deep diet mode, because your body really needs the nutrients, and you're burning so much between your mental burn and your physical burn that you will not be able to concentrate in class, or you'll feel ill. And now you're stepping out. And that did happen to me in Amy Novinsky's intensive. And I learned my lesson.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's all so accurate. Everything you said. I'm like, yes, 100%. It's like, eat healthy because you need to be feeling your body well, you need to be giving your body good nutrition, like protein, make sure you're getting it. That was Elena's dog. I'm literally not even going to cut that out because it was so funny.
He wants to be on the podcast too.
So cute. Hi, Billy.
It's just so funny because he just woke up and he's coming and he's all yawning, but when he yawns, it's like singing. And I have kept myself like muted during all that, and now I just okay, he stopped. It's so funny.
I love him. But yes, double your calorie intake during the week of intensive for sure. Your body needs it. Also, too, one of the things that not even just for intensives, but lately it's summer where we are, it's winter where Elena is, but summer here, and making sure that you're taking some sort of electrolytes where you're replenishing your minerals, because you are going to be sweating a lot, especially if you're doing a summer intensive and it's hot where you are. Bringing something that you can either add into your water. I know sometimes with air travel, it's hard with liquids. So having those little packets of powder that you can just pour into your liquid are a great option. And I really honestly think those work. I'm like, I don't think this is just like an in my head thing. I've started using them lately, and I really do feel like they help sustain my energy through class a little bit better, where usually I would kind of dip. I think just that little extra bit of like sugar and minerals kind of gives you a little boost. So
I agree. And I think that you can get really creative, like you said, just the packets, you purchase them, locally on Amazon, whatever, and you just put it in your bag. They don't take up a lot of space. Throw in a plastic baggie, and you're good to go. And it's a safety net.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at protein bars, protein shakes, things like that as safety nets, so that, you may not have a blood sugar problem. But I promise you, if you're not eating, then you're dancing as much as we do at the intensives, you will have one that day, because you're just not fueling yourself. And you might be, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me. I knew that's what was wrong with me. You didn't eat, so taking care of yourself. And also, I always encourage people, wherever you are, enjoy some of the local food, enjoy the sights and what's around. And if it's a city you've never been to, just enjoy yourself because that's what everyone is doing. And really plan once a day to have a really good meal. Have a hot, good meal for yourself and kind of budget that in if you can, and just use that as a time to really rejuvenate and relax because you'll appreciate it and your body will appreciate you for it.
Yeah. Especially if you're not getting a sit-down lunch, making sure you go to a dinner. It's really important for fueling your body for the next day. And like you said, getting the most out of the experience and just getting to meet people, talk to people, have adventures. It's all part of it. It's a special part of it too.
Absolutely.
So everyone, I hope everyone loves this episode and the one before. Now you have every answer, every solution, everything thought out for you to go to an intensive. So are you going, Stacey, this year to one?
I am. I'm actually staying in New York for my intensive this year, and I've selected the Martha Grant School intensive, which will be a combination of modern dance and ballet.
Wow.
So cool.
Exciting.
I'll be going in June.
Oh my gosh.
That'll be
I can't wait to hear
awesome.
about it. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. We really hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to myself, Stacey, Miss Elena. We always are interested in hearing requests for future episode topics, or if you have any questions about the intensive experience, feel free to reach out to us. And we hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to After Class with Ballet for All.
Join the community on YouTube and Instagram, or come dance with us, our weekly Zoom classes for adult ballerinas like you.
Links included in the episode description. Special thank you to our sponsors.
See you next time after class. Podcast produced by Mission Bridge Media.